Welcome to Dead Man Talking. Tonight's story is a frightfully twisted, entertaining story I think you guys are going to really enjoy. Please do, of course, let me know down below in the comments. Of course, please do like and share. And without further ado, let's get into tonight's story entitled, I Have Lived 1,000 Years. Let's get straight into that. A man went missing from our nursing home recently. We found an unrecognizable woman in his bed with a handwritten note laid atop her chest. This is what was written. I recall with a vivid clarity the first day I laid eyes upon Caroline. She entered my room with the youthful confidence of fresh blood. 2 weeks out of nursing school, the first of her family to earn a college degree, and she had already landed a position in Summit Ridge. Her radiant blonde hair glistened even under the humming fluorescent lights. The brilliant sheen was eclipsed only by the natural warmth of her smile. The grace and finesse of her movements mirrored a seasoned dancer. Every inch of her exuded pure compassion. As she greeted me and introduced herself, I beckoned her closer. Without my glasses, I could not see in perfect clarity. My trembling hands could muster no more than a fragile grasp around the thick metal rims. I leaned forward and asked in my most humble of voices for some assistance. She bent and reached forward, securing them over my ears. I rested my fingers upon hers and took a deep breath. How I longed for sturdy hands again. Such a shame would it be to see her tremble. The hours faded as they do when there's little more than daytime TV and worn-out bingo boards to occupy time. Caroline came to fetch me for dinner. She wheeled me into the dining hall as my legs would not carry me beyond the door lest they fall from under me. Gone for now were the days of roaming on a whim. Caroline, my dear, I said as we arrived, would you be so kind as to help me from my chair? Of course, she said with a grin. She placed her arms underneath my own, bent her knees and hoisted me up. Such perfect form, fresh from years of training and preparation. As I stood, I rested my hands upon the tops of her legs, feigning the need for greater support. I drew a deep breath and righted myself. How I longed to stand on my own again. Such a shame it would be to see her perfect posture flawed by degenerative weakness. Through the evening, I embarked on the most pleasant of dreams. Days of my youths both recent and long past, lovers lost to the tests of time. The simple joys of days started and ended with the rise and fall of the sun. The fond dreams were a welcome deviation from nights of shallow darkness and broken replays of the former day's events. Those memories were a gift well deserved. As was Caroline, her smile was no less flawless than the day before. The morning sun danced across the golden hair, but the waltz stopped 2 steps short of the crescendo, interrupted by an attack of an occasional grey strand. Time for the morning cocktail, she said with a chuckle. A rainbow of tablets and capsules rattled around a small plastic cup as her quaking hands reached across my bedside table. She watched her own movements with uncertain concern. With a steady reach and a firm grasp, I took the cup from her and offered a sheepish grin of yellowed and stained teeth. And though my hands no longer shook, I could never refuse her caring offer to aid with menial tasks. She helped me wash my face, pick my clothes, and brush my teeth. To someone so young, so eager to provide a relentless kindness, I could not muster the courage to tell her the mangled protrusions I excused as my teeth. she need not worry over. But, in her exuberant persistence, I tilted my head back and allowed her to ward off my morning stink. As the bristles made contact, I took a deep breath. How I longed for perfect teeth yet again. Such a shame it would be to tarnish her flawless smile. She positioned me in my favourite chair, then walked from the room with a subtle limp. When a door was closed, I stood and stretched. Such a lovely feeling it was to reach down and touch my own toes with the groundedness of a rugged tree. By the time lunch had finished, I was again due to partake in the culinary experience of pharmacological. My sweet Caroline escorted me from the dining hall with an unsteady gait. Darkened rings encircled her eyes. Her illustrious golden hair parted with greys, as if finding a message written in Morse code. Members of the community gathered outside for a menial display of elder exercise. I had little room to speak in jest, though I could stand. Marching from the door to the grand oak on the lawn was the same to my body as the days I sprinted atop great mountain peaks. With renewed confidence in my step, I maintained a steady stride to the tree, and, to no surprise, gasped for air as I arrived. But my sweet Caroline galloped to my aid without so much as a hastened breath. She put her arm on my shoulder, and I my hand on her chest. Her pulse bounded off my fingertips, her chest rising and falling with each supple inspiration. I drew a deep breath and calmed my racing heart. How I longed to move without debilitating exhaustion. Such a shame it would be to have her worn from the slightest exertion. As I retired to my room for the night, I felt an apt time for some minor rearrangements. I glided across the room using only the dim glow of the moon to light my way. The furniture could do with a new home. The paintings on the wall looked best in a new position. I would far prefer face the door in my favourite chair to watch as my sweet Caroline came in. And such a joy it brought to me the next morning as she entered. The morning sun retreated behind thick clouds, failing to illuminate her tainted smile or the streaks of grey running from her scalp. Thick, indented crow's feet webbed down her eyes. My poor, sweet Caroline. Those wrinkles are unbecoming of your kindness. Your hunched posture and strange breathing pained me so. But no matter the wrinkles you have gained or those that have smoothed from my skin, you will always receive the respect you deserve. I bid you a good morning. Downcast sorrow overtook me as you shared you were not feeling well today. Come, I said, sit beside me and tell me a story. Perhaps your favourite place to visit as a child. Such a favoured life she had lived, exploring the Italian countryside of her grandfather's villa. I could all but taste the fine wines as she painted the evocative melody of waving vineyards. The rich garlic fragrance wafting from her grandmother's kitchen invited the surest sensation that I too could share. The eloquent completeness and unemptied continuity of her recall left me lost in wonder and envy. I placed my hands beside the temples of her precious mind and took a deep breath. How I longed to recall days of my youthful adventures. Such a shame it would be to have her fade away. I do hope my sweet Caroline remembers me as I will her. In the following days, Caroline sat by my bedside as I regaled her with tales of my youth in the Italian countryside of my grandfather's villa. Each day, she listened with a wide-eyed splendour, soaking in the crisp depictions of a memory she longed to claim as her own. The once beautiful head of her blonde hair faded into a weary grey, her once glamorous smile little more now than a lifeless array of cast-aside youth. Yet, in her endless supply of true compassion, she showed every day to care for me, or I for her. Until one day, she grew weary and needed to rest. I offered her my bed to lay her head. Her dreams will be fond and bring comfort, I hope. For when she wakes, if she opens her eyes, her days will be short. There is little to fill your time, to save for daytime TV and worn-out bingo cards, my sweet Caroline. But I believe you will enjoy your remaining moons, perhaps a time, seasons from now, if you remain. I will visit you with tales of my youth and journey across this great world of ours. Your presence was a gift I won't forget soon, for I have lived 1,000 years, and I will live 1,000 more
by any means necessary.
Wow, hope you guys enjoyed that story. A little bit different for this channel. Great twist at the end there. I certainly did enjoy it. Please do let me know what you think down below. Of course, please do like and share. If you haven't subscribed to DMT, please smash that subscribe button. Your support is more than welcome. And remember, folks, if you're in a nursing home and there's that creepy guy in the corner, just remember, be safe, not sorry.